All right, let's dive into some Carrington Valentine talk. All right, I don't know if we'll do enough for 2 segments here. So what we're going to do, Tim, is we're just going to kind of hold off on cutting it into a second segment. Although if you are listening to this and it was a second full hour, welcome into hour 2. But I don't feel comfortable saying we're going to have enough to fill it in. So I put this tweet out earlier today, right? And you guys remember the tweet that I threw out yesterday saying Carrington Valentine, who is set to replace Jair Alexander at the right cornerback position, had a 69.0 passer rating when targeted, significantly better than Ja's 77.6, with the same amount of targets at 30. Interceptions, they both had 2. Touchdowns allowed. Alexander allowed 2 touchdowns. Carrington Valentine allowed 0. Keep in mind, with almost 200 more snaps than Ja had. All right. So what I did was I put another tweet together today and said Carrington Valentine also finished the 2024 season with 15 stops. All right. Now, what's a stop? A defensive stop are tackles that result in a successful play for the defense, aka a negative EPA for the offense. While Jair Alexander only had 2. Here are those 15 plays from Carrington Valentine, where Valentine made the stop. So again, 200 more snaps, but when you break it down into percentage, Carrington Valentine overall snaps had a 2% stop rate at the cornerback position. Jair's came to 0.005. All right. And the reason I bring that up is because I've heard some people say on Twitter that Carrington tackles just as bad as Ja does. And I was like, I don't think we're watching the same game here, right? Like, I don't think we're watching the same team. So what we did was we put together a Chalk Talk. Now, I wanted to say this, guys. We're going to pull up Chalk Talk here. If the stream goes down, if the live stream goes down, we're going to be still live on Rumble, and we'll still be live on X, okay? Hopefully it'll stay up. Last time we did this, it stayed up. But if it does go down, just understand that we will cut this and make it its own segment, whether it's monetized or not, on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it later. But if the stream goes down, no, we're still live over on Rumble. And a lot of times the stream will come back up on YouTube a few minutes later. So just keep that in mind. Tim, you ready to get into this, man?
Let's go.
All right. This was fun, man. This is a change of pace. You know, in the past, we've broken down, this is a 11 gun, Trey Wright, nasty split. This is just football here, guys. We're just going to show Carrington Valentine. I think it's 15 plays making tackles. All right.
Nice.
So can you see this on the screen, Tim? We good?
Yeah.
All right.
I can see it. Perfect. This is the Indy game, right? We're starting with.
Yeah. I believe this was the Indianapolis coach. Yeah. And what I did was just went in chronological order through last season. Again, these are 15 stops. All right. 15 stops that Carrington Valentine had. And let's go 75%. All right. So you see here playing right corner from the defense's perspective, right? So you've got him circled up here. This is pretty straightforward. And again, let's watch him attack the football. All right. So right here, it's actually a pass. He's going to drop back. They're going to dink it underneath to what we call a stab route, right? See it? Run it back. Look at Carrington break on the ball. Bang.
Yep.
And again, people that are, he tackles just as bad as Jair. My man will put his head in there. And Tim, you go ahead and give the full disclaimer here that you talked about last night. You're a little concerned about this, aren't you?
Yeah. In the essence of, don't get me wrong. I love me a hard hitting corner, right? But I don't know if I need my corners to be the hardest hitters on the football field. I need my corners to play smart, like we just saw CV do on this play, right? Little soft zone coverage looks like, and staying in your spot, keeping your eyes on the passer, those kind of things. That's what I want to see. Arrive at that confrontation, taking a good angle and wrap up, make good tackles. But we saw what happened to Ja, man. He flew in there one real good time. And I mean, we can run back that tape. That was one of the hits for the ages right there that Ja lowered the boom. I believe it was against Miami in that game. And, we talk about him not being the same player ever since then, trying to get back from that injury. So I think utilizing your feet and your head and your FBI, like CV's doing here on these plays, this is what I'm looking for. But you're right, though. I love the fact that he is not afraid to go in there and pop somebody, man. You got to love it.
Yeah. And what I love about this too, this is what he does really well, this fisheye technique. Look at how he's got eyes on the quarterback and look how he's covering the corner route.
Yeah.
He is begging. He is absolutely begging the quarterback to try to drop it in the bucket right here because he's going to go back and pick that pass off, right? But right here, you see the ball's already out. Look how quickly he breaks on the ball. And again, I love that his technique. He doesn't get too far inside. Notice how he stays squared up on the outside half. It's called playing a half a player. When you're the contained guy, you're the last line of defense on the outside. You play the outside shoulder of that player. You know how many times people will just dive inside and give up the sideline? That stuff drives me absolutely insane. So again, it's just everything's technically sound. The coverage he takes away that corner route, and then he attacks the football. So here he is on the next play, same team against the Colts. You're going to see him kind of play closer to the line of scrimmage. So he's more or less covering this tight end over here, right? They had a nub left look. And let's watch him here. So this is going to be a running play. They're going to try to scissor this thing out, right? Again, watch how he plays this. See how he's squared up there, Tim?
Yep.
Like he knows, can't let him bounce that outside.
Yep.
And then, of course, sticking his head in there, bang, and knocking the pile over.
Yeah, you're forcing that ball carrier into the teeth of your defense, really, by staying home, being fundamentally sound there. It's a great example.
Yep. He is very, for such a young player, I know it was his second year in the league and a 7th-round pick, very, very fundamentally sound and willing to stick his head in there. There's one play where you see him take out LVN too, and it blew my mind. Like I was like, this dude loves to hit. This might be it right here because LVN's in front of him. So once again, they're showing kind of a double nub left, right? This is a 12 personnel with the Lions now. You were at this game, right,
I was
Tim?
at this game. Show me something good. Show me the one highlight from this game here.
So here we go. All right. Watch him. He's blitzing. So this is a cat blitz. He knows that the safety is going to pick up that tight end on the backside. Watch who he takes on here, guys. This is a tight end, right? I'm pretty sure that's who he takes on this play. Let's watch Carrington. Look at that jump inside. Bang.
Yep.
Like there's not a lot of corners in the league that makes that play right there. Watch it again. We'll try to put it on loop for you. Whoop.
And again, just by being smart and athletic, right?
Yep.
I mean, that wasn't brute force. He just, slipped that block right there.
Yeah, and look at LVN getting back there too, almost drawing a hold, right?
Yeah.
But setting the edge, forcing the running back inside. Great job by LVN right there. But again, Carrington just willing to put his nose in there and make the tackle. That's a hell of a move on that tight. That tight end didn't know what to do. Let's see if we can get it perfectly. Look at my man. What's he grabbing at, Tim? What's this guy doing? Again, look at the body lean, right? Yep. We do that all the time. Let's go about 50%. I think we can see a little bit better. But Carrington getting his head in there, making the tackle, man.
Love it.
I'm impressed. I'm really, really impressed with his run defense skills. All right, here we go again against the Lions. So they got like a semi-stack look here on the left. This looks like a 12. Again, they love their 12 personnel. Now, it's more of a balance, tight end on each side, so you don't have that nub approach, but you do got a twin stack left here. And watch Carrington on this play. So he's playing a little off, like he's going to play a little catch man zone. And you see they're going to hand it off. Now, look at him. His eyes are in the backfield, right? Notice he's eyeing up his work right now. Now, who's the last level of defense out here, right? It's Carrington. Yep. So you see Wilson does a good job setting the edge, forcing the running back in. Now look at Carrington. Again, playing the outside shoulder, getting in there and helping make the tackle.
Love to see it.
Yep. All right, here we go against the Bears now. All right, similar look. Now they've got it's a nasty split. Those are twin. It's twin nasty look on the left there. All right. Let's watch him on this play. See if it's a running play or maybe a passing play. Running play. All right, so they're going to, once again, hand it up the middle. Look at LVN, by the way, getting out here off the edge, right? And watch Carrington come in here and square up. Look at my man filling that gap like a backer. There's where he took LVN out. Again, watch him come flying in here, Tim.
Yeah, I don't think LVN knew he was there until he landed on him.
Right. And LVN done a hell of a job getting outside, setting the edge. Forcing the running back in, and Carrington sees that and just attacks inside. Bang.
It's a trend that we've seen with Hafley's system that these guys just refuse to be blocked. That's really what it is. I mean, you don't have to get off of a block if you're never on one. I mean, great job by LVN there, just slipping a block. Look at just refusing to be contacted and stay in the play. A couple of years ago we saw guys over pursuing and getting washed out of plays, and we're not seeing that anymore.
Yeah, I think that was it might have been Coop that came in there too. look like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there you go against the Bears. Now here we are, it's showing press technique down here at the bottom, all right? Like they're going to press up. Looks like they got a little bit of motion out there. Now look at him square up, right? So we're not playing press. This is a zone read. Again, with the zone read, the quarterback is going to put the ball in the belly of the running back.
Mm-hmm.
If this defender, LVN, squares up, then he's going to keep it in the belly and let the running back run it, okay? But notice how LVN is vertical. They teach them if you read squat, pull it and go, right? If they're vertical, that means they're driving up the field, then you pull it or you hand it off to the running back, right? If they square up, if they squat, hand it to the running back. If they're vert, then you pull it and go. So what he's going to do here is he's going to pull it and go. All right. Now look at Carrington. Let's go back to Carrington, the focus here. I'm going to
Eyes have not left the quarterback yet.
I'm telling you, it's that fish eye. That's what Halfley teaches. He's playing his coverage while looking at the quarterback, right? And again, watch him right here, Tim. Keenan Allen thinks he's going to block him, right? Watch what he does to Keenan Allen, guys. Please, please, please pay attention down here to what he does to Keenan Allen, the wily veteran. Get your ass out of the way. Look at that.
Threw him like a rag doll.
And this is what's hilarious. The superhero of Caleb Williams, right? He sees 24 and says, let me get my butt on the ground. Again, man, just the block shed there. You don't see that often from a corner. He just ragdoll Keenan Allen.
Especially a second-year corner on what's Keenan Allen, 10-year vet, veteran wide receiver here, and CV made him look like the rookie.
Yeah, hell of a play there by. Okay, and look at Evan Williams coming in too.
Yep. See, that's the other thing, right? We see this. This is a trend too. It's this is a CV highlight reel here. We're looking at stops, but look at the amount of Packer jerseys rallying to the ball. I mean, it's a trend you see. No matter how much tape you watch, you've got more than one green and gold heading towards the ball carrier, and I love it.
Yeah. The other thing that sticks out, man, constantly on this footage of Carrington Valentine's run defense. So obviously Evan out here playing post safety, right? When he comes into attack, Carrington has got to play outside in, right? You got to make sure Caleb doesn't get to the outside. So watch what Carrington is almost like a running back. Watch, he's going to engage. Watch the jab step in right there to make Caleb think he's going to go inside. Then he slings him out, plays the outside shoulder, and he's ready to attack the outside half of Caleb. I love how he stands over Caleb too, by the way.
And that is exactly what that is. That is a stop for Valentine because he basically forced Caleb Williams to have to slide there. He had nowhere to go.
Yep, for sure. All right, here we go. Another nasty split by the Bears. You got Carrington up top. All right, another zone read. This time, he's handing the ball off to the running back. Now look at Carrington. Once again, you got to protect outside. See how the edge gets kind of washed inside with a double team block? So it's up to Carrington to keep him from bouncing this thing. And look where he's at. Bang.
Perfect.
Really, really good tackle skills, man.
See, Caleb Williams didn't want the smoke either. He wasn't going to get up there and try and chip him.
He ain't trying to get that action, Tim.
Nope.
Again, just watch it on loop. Patient, play the outside half.
Love it.
It's the start.
Yeah, no hesitation. Shoot. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's the same thing we see with Edge Coop at the linebacker position. Start, stop, shoot, right?
Yep. That's it. Watch him, guys. Start, stop, now shoot your shot. Bang. Yep. Right? Some guys just go start, and they're 100 mile an hour, and they outrun the play.
Right.
It's huge to play with balance like that. So, all right, here we are against the Seahawks now. Valentine playing on the outside right corner again. Now, right here, I was kind of explaining this to the guys last night. We were watching a little bit of this offline. Anytime you've got kind of a look like this guy's looking to create a little bit of bang and go, right? And looking to play some kind of catch man zone outside, right? So again, here we go. They're going to dink and dunk, drop it underneath. Look how he attacks the football. Again, a stop. Yep. Negative EPA play for the offense. And it doesn't look like it ain't sexy, right, Tim? It's just watch him attack the football, though.
I just can't get over how beautifully schemed it is. I mean, look at how many defenders are around this receiver when he catches the football. I mean, you talk about hat count all the time. We got 3-on-2 here in the hat count.
That's it. What we call that, Tim, when you got two options, it's triangle.
Yep.
Right? When you've got 3 options, it should be box. All right. So when you got 3 options, it should be box. When it's 2, it's triangle. Now right here is where the ball probably should have went, but they did pick up, positive yards here. But again, just Carrington breaking on the ball, man. Great job there. So
absolutely
great
incredible.
All right. Up next, now we are, who is this, Miami? Yeah, this is Miami. So he's showing a press tech here, and you could see Xavier kind of came in and showed a little spur look, and now he's belling back out. So it's probably a too high look, might be a cover 6 look, that type of thing. Let's watch Carrington at the top. They're going to do a little outside run here, a little outside zone. Notice the offensive line, everybody blocking down, right? They're blocking down. That's a wide zone left look there. All right. Now let's take it back. Watch Carrington. Once again, he's got to play outside technique. Watch him, Tyreek Hill, and play the outside. See him? Yep. It'd been real easy once you shed him to just shoot your shot inside, and then he busted outside on you, right? But look at him, follow it all the way over.
Yep. And you see Tyreek had to put his hands up there at the end because he was definitely holding for dear life.
Right. Exactly.
Great job by CV there. You're right, because the temptation is there is to shed that blocker and then just dive at the feet of the ball carrier. But that's how you get blown up the sideline for 20 yards a lot of times. So great fundamental football here.
Yeah, definitely. And again, he just seemed like he plays with good balance too. That's the other thing that sticks out to me. You never see him off balance. He's just got good control.
Yeah, you don't see him like flailing around out there, or he looks very in control of his body for sure.
Yeah. United Bates says life, liberty, and the pursuit of the ball carrier, Thomas Jefferson. Love it. All right, here we are against the Seahawks again.
What is Seattle?
So it's another run. All right. But look at Carrington already attacking the football. He knows, cannot let him get outside here, right? Look at him force him back in to the teeth of the defense.
Yep. That is our boy Zay McDuffie doing what he does, right?
That's called selfless football right there. Rather than try to be the hero, get in there and make the tackle, look, make sure he does not bust that outside.
Yep.
Make sure he doesn't bust it outside.
Yep. And you notice that yards after contact seems to be lower. Like once we make contact, man, that guy's going down.
Yep.
I'm used to seeing we've had defenders that a play like this, bang, he's still, keeping the feet moving and it's another 2 or 3 yards. We don't see that as much anymore with this defense, man. These guys are, burying that ball carrier as soon as they make contact.
No, I completely agree. I believe that was Xavier McKinney that got in there and done a little bit of the dirty work too, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great job. So again, CV, man.
Yep.
Run defense is underrated.
Yep.
And I know some people are probably hearing this on the pod or they're, watching it live with us here, maybe watching it back later, and they're going, yeah, how does he cover? He covered damn good. Covered damn good last year. Didn't give up a single touchdown. Had the lowest passer rating when targeted amongst all the corners, including Jair. This is the run aspect. And again, what we finished with the second best run defense in the entire league in terms of yards per carry. This is one of the reasons why, is how their corners got really physical. And listen, I don't want to keep piling on, but Ja missed significant time. The run defense got better. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. So here's a little touch pass, right? Little touch, bang. Some call it a shovel, call it a touch. Look at him get outside again, Tim. Watch him fight. Taking it all the way to the sideline.
Love it.
Again, it's the thing that sticks out again, if you're filling out a scouting card here on CV, it's balance.
Yep.
He never hits the ground.
He takes a shot right there too. Helmet right in the chest plate, and he doesn't fall down.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it.
Take care of some business real quick here. Our boy, look, he created another account. Goop Sucks 102. Oh boy, he'll get tired sooner or later, and he's gone. All right.
Bye, Omer.
Yeah, see you, Omer. Good to see you. See you, O. Bates in the chat. Thanks for swinging by. Hit that like button on the way out, bub. All right, moving along here. Next play here with Carrington. He just, I don't know, man. I think he's going to be a spark plug too. You guys remember when he went to the NFL? I've talked about this a couple of times. Me being a Kentucky fan, I love Notre Dame, love Kentucky, and I pull for Tennessee, being right down here next to Knoxville. When Carrington left for the NFL, Coach Stoops said, we lost our emotional leader on defense. That's what he referred to Carrington as. And again, he slides all the way to the 7th round. You think, oh, he sucks. No, that doesn't mean he sucked. There's a reason he dropped. There's no doubt about it. But maybe it takes a year or two, right? Developmental prospect. So
absolutely.
Ed Madden said, sit your butt outside. Tim, I'm going to need that. I need that just one time when you get a chance, sir, since we had to run O off. Poor O. Moment of silence for O.
Sit your butt outside.
There you go. All right, moving on to the next play. You guys, this is kind of exciting here. Justin Jefferson, right? And look at Carrington communicating with Javon Bullard back at safety. You got X on the opposite side. So they're not rolling X or the coverage over to F here, right? And watch CV communicating, right? And look at this. Just a little stop route, right? Not quite a smoke, but a stop. Look at him break.
Yeah, like as soon as JJ puts his foot in the ground, so does CV. You see that? Watch them both get to the break. Look, boom. Not going to be beat.
Yep. And again, just all over it, man. All over it.
Love it. I wonder what he was saying to Bullard there pre-snap. Was he saying, I got it.
Right. Exactly.
Like, don't even worry about it. I got him.
And to me, it looks like the majority of the coverage is shaded toward Eric Stokes' side, like they were trying to give him help, you know?
That's what it looks like to me also, yeah. As you see him let the guy run right past him.
Right, yeah. It's we ain't got to worry about that anymore. But again, CV breaking on Justin Jefferson. We got another one where he runs an over route. And I want you to get, to me, it looked like pretty darn good coverage, and he ends up getting the stop. It's right here. So he's kind of pressed up, man. He's kind of pressed up on Justin Jefferson. I believe this is the play with Justin Jefferson. See if it's a play action pass or if it's a run. Yeah, so here's a play fake, and they're going to run what we call a climb, right? Crosser. Look at CV play this. And he's going to get a catch on him here. But look, doesn't look like it's too big for him.
No.
Watch him try to undercut it too.
Yeah.
And again, notice the marker. Notice the first down marker. There's your stop. Bang.
I mean, that's about as good as you can play against, arguably the best receiver in the league, right?
Future Hall of Famer.
That's right. I like the fact that, can you go back to the pre-snap here on that play?
Yeah, man.
I like the fact that he doesn't fall for any of the sugar here at the beginning of the route. Like the early, look at first move, nothing. I'm not biting on none of that.
Yep.
I love.
If I can get it back here, I'm going to try to loop it so you can see. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, Jefferson's doing all these moves and CV's just staying down, like waiting for the real move. Oh, okay. You're going inside. Now I'm coming with you.
Yep. Definitely.
Love it.
Yeah. And again, man, just great trail technique. You make the play.
Yep. I mean, think about it. Guys like Jefferson, they make their money, roasting guys with that initial move, right? They take the DB right out of the play right away. That's half the battle. If you cannot fall for that and stay with your guy, you got a chance to make a play, Yeah.
So here we are. He's going to kind of come up here a little closer to the line of scrimmage. You've seen Gary kick in a little bit. See if we're going to go a run play. It is. So watch CV. Once again, what's the number one goal? Make sure he can't bounce it, right? Let's see how he plays this. Get outside half. Played the outside half. Coop on the ball. Rashawn Gary on the ball. Let's watch Gary on that rep.
We should have won this damn game, Clayton. We should have won.
Hey, man, when you pull your starting quarterback, things happen. You know what I mean? We were pretty damn banged up, too, man. It was Christian Watson. I think all the air came out of that building when Christian Watson hit the ground, man.
Mm-hmm.
So devastating. But again, Carrington, man, another stop.
He was the best guy around.
All right, let's see. One more I think we got here. Maybe two more. So here we are. It looks like he's going to play a little off coverage. Ball snap. Oh, yeah, a little bubble screen. Look at this, boys. Look at the break already. This poor bastard has no clue what's going on.
He hasn't even caught the ball yet.
Yep. And watch what happens, too. Force fumble. Bang. Ball out. We got
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. And again, that's just the read and diagnose, right?
Now, we've seen him off. We've seen him pressed up. We've seen him in zone. We've seen him in a man look. What is he having difficulty with? I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. I'm with you, Tim. And listen, I don't think he's a number one corner yet. I don't.
I like that yet, right? Not yet.
right? And that's why I was in favor. We might have one more play here, do we? No, that's it. That's why, Tim, I was in favor of keeping Ja, and understand it's not as simple as do you want him or not. There's contractual issues there. Would Ja have actually taken the $6 to $8 million deal if the Packers had offered it? Possibly. But the thought of Carrington Valentine on the outside, Ja on the other outside, and Nate Hobbs in the slot, man, that sounds magical. But again, Goody decided, hey, it's time to move on. And now what you're going to end up getting is Carrington Valentine on the outside, right? Hopefully, Carrington on the outside, Keyshawn on the other side, and then you'll have Nate Hobbs in the slot. And then when you go to your base 4-3, I think it's going to be Keyshawn on the outside along with Nate Hobbs. I'm hoping it's Carrington on the outside with Nate Hobbs on the outside. There's some people that say, Hobbs doesn't play well on the outside. That could be the case. But when you pay him that kind of money, and again, it's not number one corner money, but when you pay him the kind of money you did, Tim, he's going to be on the field in that base defense, right? He's going to be.
Yeah.
So now it comes down to, are you willing to start CV over Keyshawn in your base 4-3? I wish they would. I think that's the better option. But again, I'm not evaluating practice. They see these players a hell of a lot more than I do. So, yeah. Let's see here. H.E. Solder says, so you have high FBI with Valentine and Cooper. Who is the disruptor on the defensive line? All three levels.
LVN. This year, baby. Let's go. Unlock LVN.
If he continues what he was doing in the second half of the season. Now, when I hear that, though, when he says who's the disruptor on the defensive line, Tim, I think interior. I think that's more important than the edge. We broke it down a little bit last night with Devontae Wyatt, and his run stop rate was actually a lot better than we thought. Remember that when we had Emilio break out his Mexicano calculator for us? And I think that needs to be the next video we do. I think we need to do a little breakdown of
Devontae Wyatt.
The Devontae Wyatt run stops. Because, guys, I was really critical of Devontae Wyatt the first couple of years in the league. He played recklessly out of control in the run game. He was taking his own guys out. He was just – it was like whether it was a rundown or not, he's rushing the damn passer. And the running back's running right by him. He's taking Kenny's legs out. He's just playing reckless. Last year, it was harnessed a little bit more. So that needs to be the next video. I'm going to make a note right now. I'll try to put that together tomorrow. I should have some extra time. So I'm going to go Wyatt. And remind me tomorrow too, Tim. Shoot me a text, say Wyatt run stops.
Got it.
That way we can get a little look. Because, again, Solder, do I think Wyatt is the answer there? I don't feel comfortable saying that. But I think he's better equipped, because if they're going to continue to play Kenny in the one tech in our nickel 4-2-5, which is the nose, right? He's going to play the nose and the nickel. I like Kenny in the nose way better than Devontae Wyatt in the nose, because you want him in that 3-tech to 4-eye look where he can rush the passer. And it's not as simple as, okay, they're going to pass here, I'm rushing the passer. Like teams are constantly trying to, manipulate those looks and get you convinced they're running when they're passing when they're running, especially on those early downs. But right now, I would say it's got to be Devontae Wyatt right now for me. Now, what you said with LVN, Tim, there are rumors that they're going to play LVN.
Go inside. Yeah.
Inside. And that could be the case as well. But now if that happens, though, where does he play? He's not going to play 1-tech, right? He's going to probably play the 3-tech, I would imagine. So it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, we'll do that, man. We'll see if we can break out a little Wyatt tape and dive into that tomorrow.
Good homework going into camp too. Gives us something to look for when we're watching practice. Let's see how they're lining these guys up and how they're running them.
Mm-hmm. Holmes MD1 says Hobbs can be very effective outside. The Raiders just suck. Hey, I haven't watched enough Hobbs tape to be confident in agreeing with you, Holmes. Other than the Raiders do suck. I'm with you there, man. That's a fact. Maybe that's something else we need to do, Tim. A little Hobbs tape, right? A little Hobbs coverage. That'll be the next thing we break down. All right. And again, we got a little bit of dead time. This is the stuff you want to do in a dead period for sure. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Ed Mad said Hobbs is a dog. I like him. We're not going to show any run snaps with Hobbs. because we know what we got there. He's a damn dog. He is a dog at playing the run. Like what we seen with CV just now, which all looked good with those 15 stops, Hobbs blows that out of the water. So I want to see from a coverage standpoint, can he truly play outside? And I think the best way to look at that, Tim, would be the targets. We ain't got time to watch all the targets, but I don't know. There's probably 30 or less targets for him, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm assuming a lot of what we're going to see is him in the slot. So it's not really going to give us too much of an answer to our can he play outside question.
Right. I'm trying to see here. DB, if it'll pull it up. I'm trying to go to the Raiders page. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but just to kind of give you guys an idea here, I've got it pulled up off screen. How many targets did Hobbs have? Hobbs was targeted 43 times. He gave up 24 receptions. His passer rating, by the way, allowed was a 71.9. I did a quick little breakdown earlier, Tim. I want to get your take on this. The most important aspects of a cornerback, right, I think are these three metrics that we have. Now, I couldn't run down the EPA allowed. I would have to do a little more digging to get to that. So keep in mind that's not included here. But here's what I broke down, Tim, for our 4 top corners, which are Valentine, Nixon, Hobbs, and Bullard. Okay. Passer rating allowed, right? Interceptions and PFF grade. Not coverage grade, but overall defensive grade. That way you get a little bit of that run defense mixed in as well. Okay. So I went through and got the ranking of all 4 of these players, 1 through 4, right? Who rated first, who rated second, who rated third, who rated fourth. Passer rating allowed, it was Carrington Valentine in first place. Second was Nate Hobbs with a 71.9. Third was Nixon. Fourth was Javon Bullard. Moving on to interceptions. Who had the most interceptions? Carrington Valentine led the way, so he's in first place there. Nixon and Hobbs were tied with 1 interception last year, so they would be second, tied for second. And Javon Bullard came in fourth because he didn't have any interceptions. Then PFF, overall PFF grade, so run defense and pass coverage grade mixed in together to come up with that overall defensive grade. Carrington Valentine was in first with the highest PFF grade. Nixon was second. Hobbs was third. Javon Bullard was fourth. So when you look at Nate Hobbs' PFF grade, you would think, oh, man, he's a bad football player. But then when you look at the passer rating when targeted at 71.9, pretty damn solid, you know? So when you average that out, here's the numbers we came up with. The total number for Valentine was 3. The total number for Nixon and Hobbs were 7. And Bullard was 12. What's that tell you? That when you take the 3 things that are most important, and I didn't do touchdowns allowed. If we did, Hobbs hands down would have won because Nate Hobbs only gave up 1 touchdown last year. Keyshawn Nixon gave up 5, I believe. So it would suggest that Nixon and Hobbs are kind of close together, but the big thing that sticks out, Valentine hands down is the best cornerback on this team based off of the 2024 performance. Does that make sense?
100%. I agree.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting, man, to see if Valentine – I don't think there's any staying the same. If, you're either getting better or you're getting worse.
Yep.
If there was staying the same, the way Valentine played last year, Carrington Valentine, it was more than enough, more than good enough to be a great cornerback in the league. But again, he needs to get better because I don't think there's any staying the same. There's a chance that he reverts back to his rookie status. I hope that's not the case, but I'm being realistic and understanding that, hey, that could happen. But if
this is the year for it too, right?
Right.
If he's gonna take that step, it's gonna be in 2025, man. Ja's out of the picture. We've got a little bit of depth, by bringing Nate Hobbs in here. So there's a little bit of, I don't know what you want to call it, not a security blanket, but some comfortability there. You've got guys in that room that you're familiar with. You've played the last couple of years with. For all intents and purposes, this is his year. It really is. He's either going to step up and be that number 1 dude and show that he can be a potential number 1 corner, or he's not. I agree. You're either growing or you're dying, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Soder had a comment I wanted to hit. He played with Max Crosby. How did he ever have to defend a pass? It's what's
pronounced crazy. Max Crosby.
Here's what's crazy about that, Soder. Guess who had a higher quarterback pressure percentage? Max Crosby or Brenton Cox Jr.? Brenton Cox Jr. did.
Heard it from a fan right here.
Guess who had a higher quarterback pressure percentage? Max Crosby or Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary was over 13%. Max Crosby finished the year at a 12.3% pressure percentage. And I know people will immediately say, yeah, but how many sacks did he have? I'm glad you asked. He had 7.5, the same amount as Gary. Here's the kicker. It's 96% play time for Max Crosby with only 7.5 sacks.
Yep.
So Max was not as good as people think he was last year. But with that being said, and that's the other thing, Tim, like we talk about we don't, but people talk about Max Crosby like he's just this dominant force.
Right.
How come the Raiders were so bad?
Right. And
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's hard to play, 50, 60 snaps a game and be, deadly on every single one of them.
Right.
You're going to be gassed at some point, or I'm not saying guys take plays off, but it's kind of the victim of being that type of a player, right? You're always on the field. You're playing the bulk of snaps. I mean, it's hard to be 100% effective the entire game. It really is.
Yeah. Soder says social media will remind us that Crosby was hurt. Isn't it funny? It's when they get stuck on something, man.
Yep.
It's like that's the gospel. That's the only thing that matters.
Yep. But we're not allowed to talk about Jordan Love playing banged up.
No. Not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to point out that the reason Jair career kind of went brrr is because he got in there being too aggressive, playing the run and hurt the shoulder, and he was never the same player. It's just, yeah. It's going to be an interesting season, though, man. I can't wait. Cody says, Crosby wanted out. He's such a problem. It creates pressure for others. Come on, we know now. We'll move it along. Holmes MD1 says, Crosby plays crazy, but he looks so skinny to me. I don't know how he does it. There was somebody else that broke down Crosby, too. He's so long.
Yeah. He almost looks like a tight end more than an edge guy.
And blockers are like, man, it's so awkward. It's so hard trying to block him. Holmes says 6'5", 250 is skinny for edge. Yeah. Which is funny because like when was the last time we had a starting edge defender that was less than 260 pounds? Seemed like it's been a little bit, right? I want to say Gary's played over 260 for the most part. Now, I think they may trend a little bit leaner based off of what they've done here lately. The rumors of LVN kicking inside, and then you go out and you get a Colin Oliver if he ends up playing edge instead of stack. I mean, that dude is tiny compared to what we've done here in the past,
I'm looking forward to that too. I feel like that would be the best case scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
We probably got stack backer shored up here. We got some depth there now.
Yeah. Ed Madden says Hobbs could be a little like Rasul with being physical. Rasul would create more turnovers, though. I think that's a fair comparison, Ed. I do. I could see that, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got Chris.
Did he sign anywhere yet?
Rasul, no, he did. I honestly, man, last year it was bad. It was pretty bad last year, if I remember correctly. I remember looking a couple times and being like, ugh. So, yeah. But anyway, there is your Carrington breakdown, and I'm glad we dove into it because, again, man, it's not just about covering. You want your corners to first and foremost be good cover corners, but when you turn the run defense around the way we did last year, it's not just the guys in the middle. It's not just the edge defenders and Gary. And Gary was a stop machine. We could put on the tape watching Rashawn Gary's stops, and we'd be here all damn night. I mean, he finished with I've already went away from the screen, but I can't remember how many stops it was. It was something crazy for someone who played as few snaps as he did with this heavy rotation we got. Yeah, he ended up, according to NFL Pro, he had 39 stops, Tim, and only played 58% of the play. He had 58% play time. So,
and you said Crosby was what, 94%?
Yeah. Basically, he was 96.
Wow.
Crosby was 96% play time and had 7.5 sacks. Rashawn Gary was 58% play time and had 7.5 sacks. Max Crosby finished with 12% pressure rate. Rashawn Gary finished with 13.4%. That's what it ended up shaking out to. And again, Max Crosby in his best year, unbelievable player.
Yep.
Unbelievable player. Nobody's denying that. But people forget Rashawn Gary's best year. He had a 19% pressure rate. He's a damn dog. Well, he never got 10 sacks. I know. 50 and 60% playtime. That heavy rotation. You gotta do what you got to do there. So, all right. Let's get out of here, Tim. Anything else you got, bub? Anything at all?
Go Pack, go, baby. We're almost there.
Yeah. I agree, man. It's right around the corner. Tomorrow, we're going to do the giveaway. We're going to be giving away the autographed Luke Musgrave cards. So make sure, if you're not a member of our Patreon community, you want to get an opportunity to win a cool piece of memorabilia, just join our group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Just the $3 tier is all you need. Get you access to everything, including entered into the giveaways. We got a bunch of cool giveaways coming up. We got some jerseys coming up here soon, too. So we'll probably gear those up for training camp, Tim. Start to throw those things out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So,
awesome.
Yeah. And we got, like I said, shout out to Mary. Mary, we played that video at the top of the show. Appreciate y'all sending that over. I see you there in the chat. Excited to partner up with y'all like that. And again, it was our pleasure meeting you at the draft. It was a blast. So, all right, we're out, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If I have time to put it together, we'll put some Devontae Wyatt run stops together, and then we'll focus on Hobbs's coverage as well on down the road. So with that being said, we're out of here. For those of you listening on the pod, appreciate y'all making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
There we go.
Bye, guys.